Hello, hello, and welcome to the Core Brands podcast again after the summer. So, this is a new format. So, I am starting to include video, and the plan is also to record more short solo episodes for this new season. And I wasn't actually planning to start recording up until maybe October, November. But yesterday, I've put a question box on my Instagram, something that I usually do a lot in the past, but I haven't done in ages. And I got a question from someone that follows me that basically, she's a graphic designer, but she had to change careers when she became a mom. And now she's really struggling to go back to design. She lives in a rural area and she doesn't really know where to find clients and how to make a living out of being a designer at the moment. So while I don't have, unfortunately, a magic one to have the perfect answer, I can share my experience and I can offer some of the things that work for me. But with that said, I just want to emphasize here that it's hard as a creative, and I can only speak from being a designer. Like, it's really hard to predict how many clients we're going to get, how much income we're going to have next month, and so on. But there's some things we can do, and there's some other things we can do as well to take advantage of the slower seasons in our business. So without rambling too much, and just to kind of like get into the conversation, when I started working as a designer on my own business, I also was in a similar position as this follower, because while I graduated from the university with a communications design degree, I've worked in the field for a few years, both in public and the private environments. I also had to reroute my career, not because I became a mom, but because I wanted something more stable, something that would give me the means to, buy my house, get married, and start my family. And at the time in Portugal, that was not really happening. Like, the designer work was really not well paid. There was a lot of instability. So I kind of like changed my career at that point. There's an episode on season 1 where I actually tell that story. So for many years, I kind of like grew my professional paths into more admin and then more into data analytics. And the last one, I was more involved in project management. So I was a PMO, which, if we think about it, has nothing to do with design. And so all my projects and all the work that I've done for clients before, for other companies, they were kind of like in the past. So I didn't really thought much about it. However, I always kept my subscriptions and I always did some personal projects for friends. So I was always up to date in the technology and with the design world, which I think it's really important. Yes, I'm hoping I'm not going much off topic here. Okay, so then on that last job that I had, like normal job as I call it, things didn't work really well for me, and I went to a point in my life where I think I was 37 or 38. I was 37. I was like, I'm getting to an age that I really want to be happy every day doing what I do. I really want to enjoy my days. I don't want to be, having Sunday nights, that fear of, oh my God, tomorrow is Monday, I have to go in again. That kind of like ended up being my trigger to go back to design, because I could be designing 24 hours every single day and I'm the happiest kid in the world. I just love it. So what I did at that time, with no clients, no portfolio, knowing no one in Ireland, just for context, I was never a designer in Ireland. All my friends, everybody that knew me here, they knew me as a project manager, a data analyst, business operations analyst. Nobody ever associated me as a creative or designer, except for my PowerPoints. They were the best. But because I didn't have any experience and I was away from the industry for so long, what I did was I started doing illustrations and posted on social media. I created my Instagram account. Actually, it was on my birthday, the day that I left that job. I created the Instagram account and I started posting some illustrations because I love to draw. And then instead of starting to say, oh, I'm a graphic designer, do you want to work with me? Because, if people don't see your work, they don't really know what you can do for them. So I started posting old work, but repurposed, kind of like, so I've rebranded and redid some of the old work that I've done for other clients, some university projects. So I created a few mock-ups. So that kind of like helped me showcase what I could do for clients if they get to work with me. So that was my first step. And that's what I would advise anyone that is in a similar situation, that they just want to start. And even if you're a student and you're like, how do I build my client base? You can just post your projects from university, or you can create on passion projects, create briefs, ask ChatGPT to create you a brief and, build a brand identity, build the packaging, do the websites, the wireframes, and just post that. Because sometimes it's not as it is, oh, this was made for that client. No, this is what you are capable of doing if you get to work with them. So that would be my first tip. And then the other few things that I do that help me are definitely putting myself out there. So if you don't tell people what you do and what you want to do, people won't guess and people won't spend time thinking about it. So you have to be very upfront. And that's something that for me was hard as a naturally introverted person. I kind of like had to get out of my shell and start telling people, hey, I am a graphic designer. This is what I can do. Would you need my services? Do you know anyone that might need my services? And there is no shame in that, because and sometimes you might think, oh, I'm being annoying. People don't want to hear about it. People won't remember. If you don't keep saying it, people won't remember. They're just scrolling and they're not really memorizing unless you are showing up frequently and with some sort of consistency. So that would be another tip. So if you are, on the school run and you met another mom and they ask you what you do, like take that chance to introduce yourself and to tell them, oh, I'm actually starting a graphic design business. And if you know anyone who might need my services, send them my way. Make sure you're on social media, have, business cards and all of that marketing stuff that it's so important so people can find you and reach out to you. Then with that kind of like ties back, and I only actually leaned into networking more later on my business journey. So I think I only started like 2 years or 2.5 years ago, where I started kind of like networking and signing up for networking groups, etc. And that does not necessarily directly gives me clients or work, but it has helped me building a core group of people that are my supporters and that they can say my name in other environments and other events. And that happened in the past. I get clients from an ex-client that was at an event where I was not in, and she recommended me, and I ended up getting 2 projects from that situation. While I was not in the networking event, someone reminded them about my work and my services, and that worked well for me. Networking is super important, not only for the client part of thing, but for the support to bounce ideas. It's a really good idea. And then a lot of other things that I do as well is keep being involved with other designer communities. So I am in a few, because you don't know how many clients, a client can come to me. I might not be able to take that project at the moment. I can pass it on to another client if they're to another designer if they're a good fit. So there's that as well. So I'm at the moment on James Barnard, the designers community. It's only recent, but I'm loving every single minute of it. I did the Ambitious Creatives Book Solid with Joana Galvão. I'm still on their Slack group. While I'm not a paying member anymore. I'm still around in their Slack group, and it's great for community building, for sharing of resources and support. And with that, Joana Galvão has a book written with, oh God, what's the name again? It's Book Yourself Solid, but it's the creatives version. I'll link the book below. Can't remember the name of the co-author. It's the original from the other series of the Book Yourself Solid. But anyway, that book is gold, literally gold. Like, you have so many strategies there where you can find new clients without spending any money on advertisement and anything like that. So I would highly recommend that book as well. And yeah, like, talking about advertisement, I've done ads before. I've boosted posts and they worked really well for me too. I haven't done that in a while now, or not so often. But if you have some money, and it doesn't need to be much that you can invest in ads, I would recommend as well as an add-on strategy. I wouldn't focus only on that. So yeah, I think that's all I have to share. I hope this is helpful for the person that sent me the question, but also if you are out there and if you enjoyed this video, I hope this was valuable. As I said at the beginning of the conversation, my aim is really to record more short episodes like this, answering questions and sharing my views. So if you have anything you would like me to talk about or to answer or anything like that, feel free to reach out. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.